Hey, it's Josie with Affirmation Pod, your home for self-care and reflection. Thank you for clicking play. I'm so grateful that you're here today. This is our month on self-care. And I got to tell you, I am like this river of passion and excitement and energy all about self-care. And so approaching these episodes, this one today and the next week and the week after, I've been taking notes and preparing things, and I really just had to step back and go, okay, one goal of the podcast is to keep things short, concise, to the point. So these episodes, I am going to keep short, concise, and to the point, and I've been harnessing myself, and today's episode isn't going to be about how to take care of yourself, things like that. This is going to be basically square one, because you're not going to have self-care. You're not going to have effective self-care if you don't give yourself permission. And I know that's kind of a word that can put you a bit on the defensive, or it's a word you don't like. I remember in high school, there was a science teacher, Mr. Scherf. And I remember the first day of class, he was talking about all these things. But one thing he said was, look, I understand in this school and in your other classes, you have to ask to use the washroom and you have to get this hall pass. And then you got to bring it back. Well, he's like, I'm teaching you all biology. You are young adults. He actually asked, how many of you have your driver's license now? And more than half of us put up our hand. And he said, okay, so you've been given a license and keys to operate a motor vehicle? Well, you sure don't have to ask me if you need to use the bathroom or washroom, restroom, water closet, whatever you call it, wherever you live. You know what I mean? He said, look, if you need to go, pick up the hall pass, go and come back. If you abuse this, I'll talk to you. But in 3 years, you'll be able to vote. I do not need to be managing you on bathroom use. And so we all needed to remember that in his class, we don't have to put up our hand or we don't have to go up to him and ask, can I use the washroom? It was simply a thing where if the hall pass was available, we could go out, come back. No need to ask permission. And I think sometimes we're behaving like kids who want to ask permission for something like self-care because we hesitate to take a break, to go work out, to take a vacation, to work on a hobby, to do the things that help us, again, refuel, recharge, refresh ourselves because, and I'm going to say this by quoting somebody in the Affirmation Pod Facebook group, he said, quote, I do not take any time for myself or feel guilty when I do, so I need reminders about how important me time is, and I look forward to helping myself out, unquote. And that brings up another piece of it. If you do give yourself permission, do you feel guilty because it's taking you away from something that's important to you? And so I want to ask you now, as a check-in with yourself, where you are in this moment, in this season of life, where are you already giving yourself permission to take care of yourself? And in what areas do you need to be the student in the scenario I gave you earlier who makes that adjustment? In the other classes, you have to ask permission. But in this class, there's no need to ask permission. And when you feel you need to take some time out, you honor that and you do it. Where in your life do you need to give yourself permission, freedom, the option to engage in self-care? Where in your life is self-care a priority right now? Where in your life would you like to make self-care a priority? Where in your life have you been persistent and consistent with self-care? And where in your life do you want to be more persistent and consistent with self-care? That is today's episode. Thank you so much for taking time to click play. I want to say a special thank you to the listeners who are using my Amazon link, when you're purchasing items on Amazon, I don't get to see who you are, but I get to see what you're purchasing. And some of you are getting the book, The Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown that I recommended. But others of you are getting things like vitamins. And I have never thought of even looking online to buy vitamins. I've seen rechargeable batteries, a new razor, and accessories for a smartphone on there. Thank you so much, because when you purchase through my Amazon link, I get a small commission, and it helps to keep Affirmation Pod going. If you're interested in doing this as well, maybe thinking of Christmas gifts or holiday gifts, affirmationpod.com/Amazon will take you there. It goes to the books page that has the Gifts of Imperfection book. But if you change the category in the search bar from books to all departments or whatever you need, anything you purchase during your session will again give me a small commission, and I very much appreciate it, and it's no extra charge to you. Again, you can find the link by going to affirmationpod.com/Amazon. I also want to give a special shout out to Lisa. Lisa's a listener who purchased the Reflection Workbook, which has all 8 worksheet episodes and all 8 reflection worksheets. She's looking ahead to the new year, and she's decided to take a full day retreat for herself just to get clear on her year and what she wants for the new year. And she's using the Reflection Workbook as part of her reflection time. If you want to pick up your copy of the Reflection Workbook, go to affirmationpod.com/workbook. That's affirmationpod.com/workbook. This is Josie with Affirmation Pod, your home for self-care and reflection. Thank you so much for hitting play and tuning in today. Bye for now.